All right. So you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck. You are tired of barely getting by. You're tired of trying to budget with all these worksheets, notebooks, and nothing seems to be working for you. I get it. So in this budgeting breakthrough series, this is part 3. We are helping you break down exactly what you need to do step by step to create a budget that is tailor-made for you, your family, your circumstances, your lifestyle. But before we move on to part 3, I want to welcome you back to my channel. And if it's your first time, hello, my name is Jamila Davis Williams. I am a personal financial coach, and I am here to help women live a life free of financial stress. So if you've been following along, you know exactly where your money has been going. In part 1, we broke down how you need to look back at how you spent money before you can move ahead with creating that really true real life budget. 2, we showed you how to calculate all those numbers that we looked at on those bank statements and all those things. We showed you how to calculate it and come up with your average monthly expenses for the different buckets. Again, the buckets were your wants, your needs, your wants, your debts, your saving, and giving. Those are the buckets. In those categories, in those buckets are different categories. In the needs categories, we have things like shelter, transportation, groceries, utilities. You get it. In your want category, did I say that right? In your needs was the first one. In your wants, you have things like entertainment, dining out, spa treatments, hair treatment, nail treatments, the stuff that make life fun, but are not necessary or essential. And then we have the debt category. The debt bucket. That's all your student loans, credit cards, car loans, that goes into debt. And then, of course, the last bucket is your savings and giving, what you're saving towards your goal, retirement, and then giving would be your tithes or charity. So those are the 4 buckets. And in those 4 buckets, we have the different categories that go within that bucket. So if you've been following along, by now, part 3, you know exactly where your money's going. You know exactly how much you've been spending in each bucket, in each category. And today, we're going to shift what happens next when you now know this information. And now that you know it, here is what you can do to better your situation. Okay. So this is the most, the part that most people avoid, right? So when it comes to budgeting, first of all, budget already sounds restricting. We don't want to do that. But when we get to this third part, which now that we know the numbers, now that we can see how we've been spending our money for the last 2 months, we have the real data. And now we need to say, okay, what can I do to better my situation, to reach my financial goals? So whether your financial goals is saving money to build your emergency fund, 5,000, 10,000, whether your goal is to pay off debt, whether your goal is to save for buying a home, or if you got your debt paid in full and you got money in the bank saved up, you might be wanting to plan a trip for your entire family. And so you might be saving for that, or that might be your goal. Whatever your goal is, this is the part that most people avoid, because it talks about what can you pause, what can you reduce, what can you eliminate, whether it's temporary or permanent, and then how do you prioritize what to do next. So as we move forward to part 3, that's exactly what we're going to be doing, because now we know where the money's been going, right? And if you don't have, and what I'll say is statistics show that women between ages 40, 54, I think that's Gen, I don't know, X, I'm not sure about the Gen, whatever. But between that, 60% of women have less than $1,000 saved in their savings account. So many times when I'm coaching the women in the boot camp, or when I'm doing one-on-one coaching, Most times when I ask people what is their top financial goal, most of the time there's two. One of them is saving money. The other one is paying off debt. And so when we're looking at what we're going to pause, reduce, or eliminate, and then prioritize the prep process, we're looking at that. And we're going to be looking at our wants column or bucket today, because this is where, from experience, we are normally spending probably more than we probably should in this particular bucket. So here's why this step matters so much. Step 3. Most of us don't have an unlimited income. Let's just be real. We don't have money that we can just falling from the sky, unlimited, coming into our home. We don't have that. So when the budget feels tight, or it seems like we need to do things like get a second job, one of the things I always tell my clients, instead of going to getting a second job first, if you have children, now you got to worry about daycare and things like that. That's costing you more money. Let's take a closer look at how we're already spending our money and seeing where we can pause, reduce, eliminate, and then prioritize things so that we can free up some money to save or to pay off debt. Now, let me just say this. Cutting expenses doesn't mean cutting joy. Cutting expenses does not mean cutting joy. Many times when people hear they got to cut something, they got to reduce something, they got to eliminate something, pause something, they strictly think, oh man, I'm just going to be paying bills and going to work and paying bills. No, we're teaching you how to look at where you may be spending more than necessary, how to reduce those, cut those if necessary, eliminate if necessary, to free up money, whether it's permanently or temporary. Your budget will adjust over time. As you begin to build your savings, your budget's going to be adjusted. As you begin to pay off debt, your budget is going to adjust. So your budget is not kind of like, I'm done with it, it's going to be this way forever. No, every single month, you're going to be going back to your budget, making adjustments based on what the need is for that month. Okay. So let's revisit our spending averages. What we covered it in part 2. So in part 1, we got all the totals, added everything up, put everything in the buckets and categories, added everything up. Part 2, we now took those 2 months, whether it was May and June, depending on when you're watching this, the previous 2 months, you took those totals and then you divided by 2 to get your average spending. So now that we have our average spending for all the categories, we are now going to look at what can we pause, reduce, or eliminate to help free up some money so that we can reach our financial goals, right? So let's just say, when we did your averages, I'm just going to throw out some numbers. You did your averages, you came up with a monthly average for groceries, $675. Takeout average, $400. Your subscriptions per month, that's all your streaming, magazines, whatever you're doing, roughly $120 per month. Gas for your vehicle, $160 per month. Okay, let's just stop there. With those few things, is there somewhere that you can pause, reduce, or eliminate to free up money so that you can put in your savings account to build up your savings to 5,000, 10,000, whatever your goal is for your household, because it is different for everyone. Remember, I said budgets are not a one size fit all. What my numbers might not work for your household and vice versa. But what can you do? Looking at what you found, looking at just now your wants bucket, what do you see that maybe you can reduce, eliminate, or pause so that you can free up money? So when I think about groceries, Let's take that. That's coming from the needs. I'm going to skip that. I don't want to touch groceries right now. We're going to do takeout because that's in the wants bucket. Now, in the budgeting boot camp, we look at all the columns or all the buckets, needs, whatever, and I give you strategies on how to look at those and see if you can negotiate lower prices and things like that. But today, we're going to focus on the wants bucket. So let's look at dining out. $400 a month, right? And say, for instance, if you were also spending $675 in groceries. My question as your coach would be, when I look at your groceries and I look at your taking out, when I look at groceries, I would ask you a few questions. Are you using all the, not wasting food? Are you eating all the fruits and vegetables you're buying? Is the milk not spoiling? I would ask things like that, just so I can get you to start thinking like, okay, yeah, maybe if I'm dining out and buying groceries and I find myself throwing away groceries, which I don't want to do, then maybe I could possibly reduce my dining out. I can tell you almost 9 times out of 10, I reduce it a little bit, 8 times out of 10. So 80% of the time when I am coaching people and we're going through their budget and they've done the work with their bank statements, 8 to 9 times out of 10, the dining out category, they're almost always surprised and shocked at how much they're spending dining out. Breakfast before work, lunch during work, and then dinner, then the weekend. Like, they're almost surprised and they're like, oh my God, I didn't even know, because you just get into a rhythm and you're not paying attention. And so one of those, I can tell you, normally is always really high. And when we look at it, I've almost seen almost everybody cut that in half because they are also buying groceries. So look at your dining out. See if you can cut that back, reduce it. I'm not saying stop, right? Because that might be too hard. But for some of you, you might be like, you know what? My savings is so important. My financial goal is so important to me. I'm okay with pausing that, cutting that out completely for 90 days, 6 months, whatever it is, so that you can build up your savings account. Or if that's not you, or you can't totally cut it, you might say, okay, 400 is a little excessive. Let's cut that down to $200. Now you just saved yourself $200 in your budget to either go into savings account, which we kind of will cover tomorrow, go towards debt, go towards that house down payment, whatever your goal is, you just save money in your already budget. Now, we ain't talking about increasing income. We're just talking about what you're currently doing based on the current income that you have coming in, and looking at what you can pause, reduce, eliminate, and then prioritize, prep, so that you can find the money you need within what you're already doing to make sure you can fix your situation by saving more money or paying off debt. Another one is subscriptions. Sometimes I know, trust me, I like to watch some TV when I can, and I want to watch something good. But when I start looking at some of the streaming things that I did have, I started seeing repeats. Like, something was Prime, might have been on Hulu. Something that was on Hulu might have been on this, and something that was on this one might have been on that. So I'm like, so really, did I need 5 of them, 4 of them? Was there a better way? So subscriptions, take a look at that. Now, I can't tell you what to cut, what to reduce, what to eliminate, because I am not in your household. If you're someone who has kids and you know while you're cooking, you need to have the Disney Channel on, you need to have Disney Plus subscription, because other than that, you wouldn't be able to cook or do anything. You might not want to cut that, but you might want to cut something else, right? Or put a pause on something else. And so I'm telling you, this is a time where you're going to go through and make the hard decisions. But I want you to do this and think, This is not forever. It is just helping me so I can finally get some money in the bank saved so that if an emergency does come, the car does break down, I do need tires. My refrigerator is going out, so I'd have to go buy one. My dryer's not drying, so now I have to get that repaired. So that when those things happen, you have a source to pull from, a bucket of money, a safety net to pull from to take care of those things. Again, 60%, over 60% of women between the age of 40 and I believe 50, Gen X, I think that's what it said. I'll have to find it and quote it exactly. However, have less than $1,000 saved up. So I can tell you when I'm coaching the women and they always say, well, their top goal is to create an emergency fund to save money. I know why, because 60% or over 60% of women have less than $1,000 saved. So we're going to use the PrEP method. Again, that is to pause temporarily, whether it's no eating out for a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever that is. So we're going to pause to look at what we can pause temporarily, what we can reduce the amount of. So if there's something that you are doing and you don't want to cut it completely, but you can reduce it, even if it's in the needs, because later on you're going to go through your needs. Right now we're going to focus on your wants, but I want you to go to your needs and see what can you cut. Can you cut the grocery bill, especially if you find yourself tossing food going bad? Can you maybe cut that because maybe you're buying too much of it and it's not getting eaten in enough time and now you're wasting money. The other thing that in the boot camp I have people do is look at insurance. Most times we have had an insurance company for years and we haven't started going back to look at 3 other companies to see who has the better rate, right? There's sometimes we can just switch companies, switch insurance companies, switch whatever to get a better pricing, a better premium so that we're saving money. There's so many ways that when we look at our budget, our buckets, our needs, our wants, our debts, so that we can finally put something in the savings that we can start just reducing and cutting back so that we free up money to put in these buckets. Many times I know people always think they have to go and increase their income. Sometimes, yes, that is true, but that's normally the second option. The first option is looking at what you're currently doing with your money and seeing how you can make some changes to free up money to reach your financial goals. So again, the PrEP process: pause, reduce, eliminate. For now, cut unused subscriptions, whatever you need to do, eliminate it for now. You can always get it back once you get yourself in a better position to do so. And then you're going to prioritize what matters, your goals or your comfort. What matters most to you? Goals, saving more money, paying off debt, buying that house, going on that trip because everything else is in order, or your comfort. I'm just going to keep doing this so I can keep living paycheck to paycheck, barely getting by, always feeling broke, get paid on Friday. By Monday, Tuesday, I'm already waiting for the next paycheck. What's more important, your goals or your current comfort? And I can tell you that what seems to be comfortable because we don't want to cut or reduce or any of that, really we're not comfortable because we're stressing out every single day about, I hope something doesn't break down. I hope my car makes it to work. I hope I don't have to do. You're always thinking like, man, if I'm praying that nothing bad happens because I don't have the money to cover it. That's not comfort. That's overwhelm and stress. And this, the PrEP process, helps you come out of that, helps you stop living paycheck to paycheck, frees up some money so that you can save it for the rainy days or the future for whatever you want to do. So what we want to do is, so once you go through that and make those cuts, that savings, I want you to make sure you write that down, because on tomorrow, part 4, we're going to look at what other buckets can we put it in to better ourselves going forward. We want our tomorrow to be better than today. And the only way that that can happen is that I have to make the decisions today Make the choices today that's going to affect my tomorrow. So make the right choices right now that's going to give me a better tomorrow. These small shifts can add up so fast. And before you know it, you have an extra 100, 200, 300. When I did this in 2020, it was ridiculous what we saw. Like, I'm talking about like $1,000+ that we were just spending foolishly because the money was coming in, the increases were happening, but I didn't adjust the budget accordingly. So we were just spending money to be spending it because I didn't give it a bucket or a category to go into. One of the things we learn also in the budgeting boot camp is the zero-based budget, giving every dollar an assignment, giving every dollar a purpose. When you do that, it helps you really see, I got money going over here. I got money. When you do it this way, it helps you really focus on what matters most, which is your financial goals, which includes having fun. You still want to have fun. So your budget is not restricting. It's freedom. It's telling you where to put your dollar so that you can enjoy your life and live free of financial stress. So what I want you to do is hold on to what you freed up. Add up. So as you're going through and you're saying, I can cut this, I can reduce this, I can eliminate this, whatever that is, total that dollar amount that you're going to save, right? So that when we get to step 4 and we look at now, what do we want to do? Because I want you, as you're going through this, think about, what is my goal? What is it that I really want to accomplish? Do I want to have $5,000, $10,000 in my savings account? Do I want to, or is it paying off debt my priority? Which is going to free up money so that I can save for now, save for retirement. I can enjoy my life with the trip I've been wanting to take. What does that look like? What goal is going to help you get to your place of financial peace and financial freedom? So once you save that, so once you say, okay, I'm going to take 150 from dining out. I'm going to take 30 from my subscription. I'm going to cancel a few things. I'm going to do, this on beauty, 40 on beauty, 50 on groceries, whatever that looks like. That's about 270 some odd dollars freed up. We're going to look at tomorrow where we're going to put that. How are we going to make that money now work for us? Now that I saved it, now that I've made these reductions, these pauses, reductions, elimination, and prioritize my goals over my comfort. Now what? What am I going to do there? And so in 4, we're going to make sure we figure out first what's your goal so that you can create that bucket and start putting your savings into that bucket. This is, again, not about feeling guilty, not about feeling ashamed. It's about you taking control, gaining clarity and confidence with your money. When women are confident with their money, they move different. When women are in control of their money, they move different. When women have clarity, they know exactly what they've been doing with their money and they're ready to make that shift. Things change for the better for them. And so in the next video, we're going to be talking about what to do with that extra money, how to direct it towards saving, paying off debt, towards buying that house, whatever your goal is. We're going to talk about that in part 4. Because cutting back, again, it doesn't mean going out. It means moving forward in freedom and in peace so that you can live life free of financial stress. Again, the budgeting bootcamp is coming up. If you are ready to go deeper and you want step-by-step with templates, a workbook, coaching, you want to join the budgeting bootcamp. You don't have to do this alone. That's the problem why some of us are struggling, because we've been trying to do it alone. First of all, shame, guilt, we don't want nobody to know our business, all of that. In the budgeting bootcamp, we use examples so that you ain't got to tell your stuff if you don't want to, but I have enough scenarios and examples that'll help you see yourself and the different changes you can make to make your money work for you. The next bootcamp starts July 21st through the 25th. So it's Monday through Friday. It's an hour and 15 minutes for 5 days. So it doesn't take it out of your life or time, but you're going to learn the skills to help you be smart, confident, have the clarity that you need, and be in control of your money. No more guessing, no more throwing in the towel and starting all these budgets that don't work. We're going to get to the nitty-gritty along with learning how to repair and build credit, learning how to establish yourself for the future, also learning how to use the debt snowball method to help you pay down debt faster. So we go over all those things as well as saving your first $1,000 in 90 days. So if you've been feeling stuck with your budget, no more excuses. We are taking the covers off and we are helping you finally break through with your budgeting. So again, this is part 3. Part 4 is coming up. Remember to click the link in the description for the budgeting boot camp. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that when part 4 drops, you will be notified. Again, thank you so much for joining. Please leave a comment. Let me know if this information is helping you. If you have questions, drop them in the comment. I read all the comments. I do respond. And I want to make sure we get everything answered for you. Again, thanks so much for joining us. You enjoy the rest of your day. And come on, let's get our money together. Enjoy. See you soon.